a land so vast that it spans 11 time zones, where frozen Arctic tundras meet sprawling forests, and bustling cities overlook oceans that touch distant continents. This is Russia, a country of extremes, contrasts, and breathtaking beauty. From the historic streets of Moscow to the remote wilderness of Siberia, from the icy expanse of the Arctic to the bustling port city of Vladivostok, Russia offers a journey like no other. Every step, every mile, every horizon tells a story of endurance, culture, and the raw power of nature. Prepare to embark on an unforgettable adventure across the world's largest nation, where history, nature, and human spirit converge in ways you've never imagined. Welcome to the wonders of Russia. Russia is not a place you simply visit. It is a world you step into, a land so vast that it stretches across 11 time zones, touching frozen Arctic seas in the north and sunlit mountains in the south, ancient forests in the west, and endless wilderness in the east. From space, it appears endless. On the ground, it feels timeless. This is a country shaped by extremes of climate, of history, of emotion, where beauty and hardship exist side by side, and where every landscape tells a story older than memory itself. To understand Russia, one must first feel its scale. Distances here are not measured in hours, but in days. Cities rise like islands amid oceans of forest and snow. Rivers flow for thousands of kilometers, carving paths that once carried traders, warriors, explorers, and dreamers. The land has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, revolutions that reshaped the world, and generations who learned to endure, adapt, and survive against overwhelming odds. Russia's story is written not only in books, but in its soil, its stone, and its silence. This is a country where nature commands respect. Winters arrive with a force that reshapes life itself, freezing lakes solid, turning breath into mist, and covering entire regions in white stillness. Yet with spring comes rebirth. Rivers thaw, forests awaken, and cities burst back into color and sound. In this rhythm of survival and renewal, Russia reveals its soul, resilient, patient, unyielding. But Russia is not only wilderness and cold. It is also a land of culture, art, and deep human expression. Music echoes with melancholy and strength. Literature dives into the depths of the human spirit. Architecture stands as a testament to faith, power, and imagination. From golden dome churches to grand palaces and imposing fortresses, every era has left its mark, layering history upon history, creating a nation that remembers even as it moves forward. At the heart of Russia's identity lies contradiction, grandeur and simplicity, silence and intensity, isolation and connection. In bustling cities, life moves fast, shaped by ambition and modern energy. In remote villages, time seems to slow, traditions passed down through generations untouched by the outside world. Across this vast land, people live lives shaped by their environment, resourceful, resilient, and deeply connected to the places they call home. Traveling through Russia is not just a physical journey, it is an emotional one. It challenges perceptions and expectations. It reveals beauty in unexpected places, in frozen landscapes glowing under polar light, in abandoned towns reclaimed by nature, in quiet moments shared over tea in a small kitchen far from the world's noise. Russia teaches patience, humility, and respect for forces greater than oneself. This is a land of mystery. Ancient legends still linger in forests and mountains. Sacred sites rise in remote places, their origins lost to time. Vast regions remain largely untouched, unexplored, and unchanged, preserving ecosystems and cultures found nowhere else on Earth. Even today, Russia holds secrets not hidden deliberately, but protected by distance, climate, and sheer scale. As we begin this journey across Russia, we are not simply exploring destinations. We are uncovering layers of time, nature, and human endurance. From imperial cities to frozen frontiers, from spiritual landmarks to raw wilderness, every chapter reveals a different face of this extraordinary land. Russia does not reveal itself all at once. It unfolds slowly, deliberately, rewarding those willing to look deeper. This is a journey into one of the last true giants of the world, a place where history breathes, nature dominates, and humanity persists against the vastness of the land. Welcome to Russia. Moscow rises from the heart of Russia with a presence that is impossible to ignore. It is a city built on power, endurance, and transformation. A place where centuries of history collide with the relentless pace of modern life. From the first light of dawn to the glow of city lights at night, Moscow moves with an energy that reflects the spirit of the nation itself. Determined, complex, and always evolving. At the center of Moscow stands Red Square, a space that has witnessed coronations, revolutions, parades, and moments that reshape the world. The colorful domes of St. Basil's Cathedral seem almost unreal, rising like flames frozen in stone. Each tower tells a story of faith, victory, and vision, symbolizing a time when architecture was used to inspire awe and loyalty. Nearby, the Kremlin's red walls and towers guard the seat of Russian power, a fortress that has stood through invasions, intrigue, and political upheaval. Within these walls, decisions were made that altered the course of history far beyond Russia's borders. Yet Moscow is not a museum of the past. It is a living city, constantly reinventing itself. Beyond the historic core, wide avenues stretch outward, lined with grand Soviet-era buildings and modern glass skyscrapers that reflect ambition and progress. The Moscow city skyline rises as a symbol of contemporary Russia, where finance, innovation, and global influence shape a new chapter in the city's story. Here, tradition and modernity do not compete, they coexist, each strengthening the other. Beneath the streets, Moscow reveals one of its most extraordinary features, its metro system. Often described as an underground palace, the metro stations are adorned with chandeliers, mosaics, sculptures, and marble halls. Built during times of immense hardship, these stations were designed not just for transport, but to inspire pride and hope. Every train ride becomes a journey through art, history, and ideology, reminding passengers that even in the darkest times, beauty was considered essential. Life in Moscow moves quickly, yet beneath the surface lies a deep sense of reflection. Parks and green spaces provide moments of calm amid the city's intensity. Along the Moscow River, people gather to walk, talk, and pause, watching the city flow past them. Cafes and bookstores offer quiet corners where conversations unfold slowly and where literature, philosophy, and ideas continue to shape the Russian mindset. The people of Moscow embody the city's dual nature. They are driven and disciplined, yet warm and deeply loyal. Friendships are strong, family bonds run deep, and hospitality reveals itself once trust is earned. Behind reserved expressions lies humor, resilience, and a profound understanding of life shaped by history's trials. In Moscow, strength is not loud, it is steady. Culturally, the city stands as one of the world's great capitals. Theaters, concert halls, and galleries preserve traditions of ballet, opera, and classical music that are admired worldwide. At the same time, contemporary art, fashion, and music scenes push boundaries, reflecting a generation eager to define its own identity. Moscow does not cling to the past, it builds upon it. As night falls, the city transforms. Lights illuminate bridges, towers, and avenues, casting reflections across the river. The skyline glows with confidence, while quiet courtyards hide stories of everyday life. Moscow, at night, reveals its contrasts most clearly: monumental, yet intimate, powerful, yet human. To walk through Moscow is to walk through the story of Russia itself. Every street, every building, every moment carries echoes of ambition, sacrifice, and survival. It is a city that demands attention, challenges assumptions, and leaves a lasting impression. Moscow is not just the capital of Russia. It is its heartbeat, a place where the past and future meet, shaping the nation with every passing day. St. Petersburg feels like a dream, shaped from stone, water, and light. Unlike any other city in Russia, it was born from vision rather than necessity. A city imagined first in the mind of a ruler and then carved into existence against nature itself. Rising from marshland along the Neva River, St. Petersburg was created to face the world, to reflect elegance, power, and cultural ambition. From the moment you arrive, it becomes clear that this is a city designed not just to be lived in, but to be admired. Water defines St. Petersburg. Canals wind through the city like veins, reflecting pastel palaces, iron bridges, and the ever-changing sky. The Neva flows wide and calm, connecting the city to the Baltic Sea and to centuries of trade, ideas, and influence. During the summer months, the famous white nights transform the city into something almost unreal, as twilight stretches endlessly and the sun barely dips below the horizon. In this soft, silvery light, St. Petersburg feels suspended in time. At the heart of the city stands the Winter Palace, once home to Russian emperors and now part of the Hermitage Museum, one of the greatest collections of art and history on Earth. Its green and white facade conceals endless halls filled with masterpieces, treasures, and stories gathered from across continents. Walking through these rooms is like traveling through centuries of human creativity and ambition. Each painting and sculpture a reminder of Russia's deep connection to global culture. St. Petersburg's streets reveal a city shaped by empire. Grand avenues stretch outward, lined with Baroque and neoclassical buildings inspired by Europe's greatest capitals. Yet beneath the elegance lies a deeper story, one of sacrifice and endurance. The city has survived floods, revolutions, and one of the longest and most devastating sieges in modern history. During the Second World War, when it was known as Leningrad, the city endured unimaginable hardship, yet refused to surrender. That resilience is woven into its identity, giving beauty here a deeper, more powerful meaning. Culture is the lifeblood of St. Petersburg. This is the birthplace of Russian ballet, the home of legendary theaters where movement, music, and storytelling merge into breathtaking performances. Opera halls echo with voices trained through generations of discipline and passion. Literature flows through the city's veins, with writers and poets drawing inspiration from its misty streets and reflective canals. In quiet cafes and libraries, ideas continue to grow, connecting past brilliance with present creativity. Despite its grandeur, St. Petersburg possesses a gentle intimacy. Courtyards hidden behind ornate facades reveal everyday life, children playing, neighbors talking, time passing quietly. Locals walk along embankments at sunset, watching the water glow with fading light. Bridges lift at night to allow ships to pass, a ritual that feels both practical and poetic, reminding visitors that the city lives in harmony with its waterways. Faith and symbolism are deeply embedded here. Cathedrals rise with golden domes and intricate interiors, reflecting both devotion and artistry. Churches like St. Isaac's Cathedral stand as monuments to belief, perseverance, and craftsmanship. These sacred spaces offer moments of reflection amid the city's elegance, grounding its beauty in spiritual depth. St. Petersburg is a city of contrasts, imperial and vulnerable, refined and resilient, romantic and real. It invites admiration, yet demands understanding. Its beauty is not superficial. It is layered with history, emotion, and memory. To walk its streets is to feel the weight of the past and the quiet optimism of the present. In the end, St. Petersburg is not simply a destination. It is an experience of atmosphere and emotion. It lingers in the mind like a melody, elegant and haunting. It represents a different face of Russia, artistic, thoughtful, and deeply human. A city that proves beauty can endure even the harshest trials, and that culture, once rooted deeply enough, can survive anything. Lake Baikal is not just a body of water, it is a living relic of the Earth's ancient past. Hidden deep within Siberia, this vast inland sea is the oldest and deepest freshwater lake on the planet, holding nearly 1/5 of the world's unfrozen freshwater. Standing on its shores, the scale is overwhelming. The horizon stretches endlessly, and the water appears so clear, so still, that it feels less like a lake and more like a window into time itself. Formed over 25 million years ago, Lake Baikal predates many mountain ranges and has remained remarkably unchanged through the ages. Its depths plunge more than a kilometer beneath the surface, a dark world still being explored by scientists today. Within these waters live thousands of species found nowhere else on Earth, making Baikal one of the most biologically unique ecosystems on the planet. This isolation has preserved life in its purest form, untouched by the rapid changes shaping much of the modern world. In winter, Baikal transforms into something almost otherworldly. The lake freezes solid, creating a vast sheet of crystal-clear ice stretching as far as the eye can see. Cracks form beneath the surface, producing deep, echoing sounds that seem to rise from the lake's core, reminders that Baikal is alive, constantly shifting and breathing. Beneath the ice, water remains so clear that rocks and air bubbles appear suspended in time, frozen mid-motion. Travelers walk, skate, and even drive across this frozen expanse, standing above depths deeper than most oceans. With the arrival of summer, Baikal reveals a gentler side. Forests surrounding the lake burst into green, and the shoreline comes alive with birds, wildflowers, and quiet human settlements. Fishing villages dot the coast, where life continues much as it has for generations. Wooden boats glide across the water, and smoke rises from small homes, blending human presence gently into the natural landscape. Here, nature is not conquered, it is respected. For the indigenous peoples of the region, Baikal is sacred. Legends speak of spirits dwelling within its waters and mountains, guardians of balance and harmony. Rituals and traditions passed down through centuries honor the lake as a source of life and wisdom. Even today, many approach Baikal not simply as a place to visit, but as a place to listen to the wind, the water, and the silence that surrounds it. The lake's vastness inspires reflection. Standing alone on its shores, the modern world feels distant. Time slows. The mind quiets. Baikal offers something rare, a sense of humility in the presence of something far greater than oneself. It reminds us that the planet holds mysteries beyond human control, and that some places remain powerful precisely because they resist being fully understood. Despite its remoteness, Lake Baikal has endured threats from pollution and climate change, challenges that place its future at risk. Yet efforts to protect and preserve this natural wonder continue, driven by scientists, conservationists, and local communities who understand its irreplaceable value. Baikal is not only a natural treasure, it is a responsibility. As day fades into night, the lake reflects the changing sky blues, deepening into indigo, stars emerging above still waters. In these moments, Baikal feels eternal. It has witnessed epochs come and go, civilizations rise and fall, and it remains calm and watchful. Lake Baikal is more than a destination. It is an encounter with Earth's deep memory, a place where water holds history, silence speaks, and nature reveals its most ancient and powerful form. To experience Baikal is to understand how small we are, and how extraordinary our world truly is. Siberia stretches beyond imagination, a land so vast and untamed that it reshapes the way one understands distance, silence, and survival. Covering much of northern Asia, this immense region is often imagined as empty and frozen. Yet Siberia is far more complex, a place of profound beauty, deep history, and remarkable human endurance. To journey into Siberia is to step into one of the last great frontiers on Earth. Here, forests extend endlessly, forming the largest continuous woodland on the planet. These taiga forests breathe life into the land, sheltering rivers that snake for thousands of kilometers and wildlife adapted to extremes. Winters descend with unrelenting force, locking the ground in ice and darkness for months at a time. Temperatures fall to levels few humans ever experience. Yet life continues not in defiance of nature, but in quiet cooperation with it. In Siberia, survival is a skill passed down through generations. Despite its isolation, Siberia has long been a crossroads of cultures. Indigenous peoples have lived here for thousands of years, developing ways of life finely tuned to the rhythms of the land. Reindeer herding, fishing, and seasonal migration remain central to their identity. Their traditions, stories, and beliefs reflect a deep respect for nature, recognizing it not as an enemy, but as a powerful force deserving balance and humility. In these cultures, survival is inseparable from spirituality. Siberia's history is layered with struggle and transformation. It served as a place of exile, exploration, and expansion, shaping the fate of countless lives. Small settlements and towns scattered across the region carry echoes of hardship and resilience. Wooden houses stand against the cold, smoke rising steadily from chimneys, a sign of warmth and life amid vast emptiness. These communities may seem distant from the modern world, yet they are deeply connected, bound by cooperation, trust, and shared endurance. The rivers of Siberia define its geography and spirit. Mighty waterways like the Yenisei, Lena, and Ob cut through forests and tundra, acting as lifelines in an otherwise unforgiving land. In summer, they carry boats, supplies, and stories between settlements. In winter, they freeze solid, becoming roads across the wilderness. These rivers remind travelers that movement here follows nature's rules, not human schedules. Yet Siberia is not only cold and severe. In summer, the land transforms. Wildflowers bloom across open plains, insects hum through the air, and daylight stretches long into the night. Lakes mirror the sky, and forests glow under golden sunlight. This brief season of warmth is celebrated intensely, a reminder that beauty in Siberia is precious because it is fleeting. Life blooms quickly, urgently, before winter returns. Silence is one of Siberia's most powerful experiences. Far from cities and constant noise, the land offers a rare stillness that feels almost sacred. The absence of sound sharpens awareness, the crunch of snow underfoot, the distant call of birds, the wind moving through trees. In this quiet, reflection comes naturally. Siberia strips away distractions, leaving only the essentials: land, sky, and self. Wildlife thrives here in ways unseen elsewhere. Bears roam forests, wolves move silently across snowfields, and birds migrate across vast distances, guided by instinct older than memory. Nature here operates on a scale and rhythm that dwarfs human concerns, reminding visitors that they are guests in a world governed by ancient laws. Siberia challenges assumptions. It is not merely a place of hardship, but of strength and profound beauty. It teaches patience, resilience, and respect for forces beyond control. Those who experience it carry its lessons with them, an understanding that life when stripped to its core, becomes clearer and more meaningful. To witness Siberia is to confront the raw essence of Earth itself. Vast, unforgiving, and quietly magnificent. It stands as a testament to endurance of nature, of culture, and of the human spirit. Kamchatka feels like the edge of the world, a land where Earth still shapes itself in real time. Remote and largely untouched, this rugged peninsula in Russia's far east is a realm of fire and ice, where volcanoes dominate the skyline and the ground beneath your feet seems alive. To arrive in Kamchatka is to step into a landscape that feels prehistoric, powerful, and humbling all at once. More than 300 volcanoes rise across the peninsula, dozens of them still active. Some send columns of steam into the sky. Others rumble quietly beneath snow-covered peaks, reminders that Kamchatka exists in constant motion. These mountains are not distant backdrops. They are living forces that shape the land, carving valleys, heating rivers, and feeding vast networks of geothermal springs. Geysers erupt without warning, releasing bursts of steam that echo across empty plains, turning the landscape into a living laboratory of the planet's inner workings. Despite its dramatic terrain, Kamchatka is remarkably alive. Rivers warmed by volcanic activity remain unfrozen even in winter, becoming lifelines for wildlife. Salmon flood upstream in enormous numbers, drawing bears to the water's edge. Here, brown bears roam freely, powerful and unchallenged, fishing with calm precision in rivers that pulse with life. Eagles circle overhead, while foxes and wolves move silently through the tundra. In Kamchatka, humans are not at the top of the food chain. They are observers in a world ruled by nature. Isolation has preserved Kamchatka's purity. Roads are scarce, settlements few, and vast regions remain accessible only by helicopter or on foot. This remoteness has protected ecosystems that have vanished elsewhere, allowing nature to exist on its own terms. There is no constant noise of civilization here, only wind, water, and the distant rumble of the earth itself. The silence is not empty, it is full, heavy with presence. Human life in Kamchatka reflects adaptation rather than domination. Indigenous communities have lived here for thousands of years, surviving through fishing, hunting, and deep knowledge of the land. Their traditions are shaped by respect for the forces around them, recognizing that survival depends on harmony with nature, not control over it. Even modern settlements maintain a sense of humility, built with the understanding that volcanoes and weather ultimately decide the rules. The coastline of Kamchatka adds another layer to its raw beauty. Jagged cliffs plunge into cold seas, where powerful waves crash against black volcanic rock. Offshore, whales migrate through nutrient-rich waters, while seals rest along rocky shores. The meeting of land and ocean here feels violent and beautiful, a reminder that Kamchatka exists at the intersection of immense natural forces. In winter, snow transforms the peninsula into a white wilderness, softening its sharp edges while intensifying its isolation. In summer, green follies emerge between volcanic slopes, wildflowers bloom briefly, and rivers surge with life. Each season reveals a different face of Kamchatka, yet all share the same underlying intensity, a sense that this land is never still. Kamchatka challenges the human sense of control. Here, the earth dictates pace and possibility. Weather shifts suddenly, volcanoes breathe unpredictably, and survival requires respect and awareness. Yet, it is precisely this unpredictability that gives Kamchatka its magic. It offers a glimpse of the planet as it once was, and perhaps as it was meant to be. To experience Kamchatka is to witness the earth in its rawest form, unfiltered, untamed, and breathtakingly alive. It is a place that demands humility and rewards awe, reminding us that despite all our progress, nature remains the ultimate architect of this world. The Trans-Siberian Railway is more than a route across Russia. It is a moving thread that stitches together the largest country on Earth, stretching nearly 10,000 kilometers from Europe to the Pacific. This legendary railway does not merely cross landscapes, it crosses climates, cultures, histories, and states of mind. To travel along it is to experience Russia in motion, slowly unfolding outside the window, mile after mile, day after day. As the train departs, cities gradually dissolve into countryside, and countryside gives way to wilderness. Forests roll endlessly past, broken by rivers that glint in the sun and villages that appear briefly before vanishing again into the trees. Time behaves differently on the railway. Days blur together, governed not by clocks but by the rhythm of wheels on steel tracks, the gentle sway of carriages, and the predictable pauses at distant stations whose names feel almost mythical. Inside the train, a world of its own exists. Strangers share compartments, tea is poured from steaming samovars, and conversations begin quietly before deepening into stories of life, memory, and belonging. Language barriers fade as gestures, smiles, and shared routines take over. Here, people from different regions, generations, and backgrounds coexist for days at a time, bound by the same journey. The railway becomes a microcosm of Russia itself, diverse, vast, and interconnected. Outside, the landscape shifts subtly yet profoundly. The dense forests of European Russia give way to the expansive plains of Siberia, where the sky feels impossibly large and the land stretches without interruption. Rivers widen, towns grow smaller, and human presence becomes increasingly rare. In winter, snow blankets everything, transforming the world into a monochrome dream. In summer, fields glow green, and sunlight lingers late into the evening. Each change reminds the traveler just how immense this land truly is. The railway was not built merely for travel, but for unity. It linked remote regions to the heart of the country, enabling movement, trade, and communication across distances that once seemed insurmountable. Along its path lie industrial cities, forgotten settlements, and stations where life revolves entirely around the arrival and departure of trains. For many communities, the railway is not just a convenience, it is survival. There is a quiet poetry to the journey. Long hours invite reflection. Watching the landscape pass becomes meditative, encouraging thoughts about time, distance, and the meaning of movement itself. The train does not rush. It accepts the scale of the land and adapts to it, teaching patience in a world increasingly obsessed with speed. On the Trans-Siberian Railway, progress is measured not in minutes saved, but in experiences gained. At night, the darkness outside the window feels infinite. Inside, soft lights glow, conversations fade, and the steady sound of the tracks becomes a lullaby. Somewhere beyond, the glass, forests, stand silent. Rivers continue their ancient paths, and the land remains vast and unmoved. The train passes through it all, a fleeting presence in a timeless world. The railway also carries memory. Soldiers, explorers, workers, families, and dreamers have all traveled these same rails, each leaving invisible traces behind. The tracks themselves are a monument to ambition and endurance, carved across some of the harshest terrain on Earth. They represent humanity's determination to connect, even when separated by unimaginable distance. As the journey continues toward the east, the realization settles in. The Trans-Siberian Railway is not about the destination, it is about immersion. It allows travelers to feel the true scale of Russia, not as an abstract idea, but as a lived experience. Every kilometer reinforces the understanding that this country cannot be rushed, summarized, or simplified. To travel the Trans-Siberian Railway is to surrender to the vastness of Russia, to let the land reveal itself slowly and honestly. It is a journey that changes perspective, reminding us that sometimes the greatest discoveries are made not by arriving quickly, but by moving patiently through the world, one track at a time. Beyond the great cities and famous routes, Russia hides landscapes so raw and powerful that they feel untouched by time. This is the Russia few ever see, a land where nature still speaks louder than humanity, where silence stretches farther than roads, and where the earth itself feels alive. From volcanic fire to frozen oceans, these remote wonders reveal the true soul of the country. In the Far East lies Kamchatka, one of the most dramatic regions on the planet. Here, volcanoes dominate the horizon, more than 300 of them, many still active. Snow-covered peaks release columns of steam into the sky, while rivers heated by geothermal springs cut through black volcanic rock. The land feels unstable, breathing and shifting beneath your feet. Bears roam freely, fishing for salmon in crystal-clear streams, while eagles circle overhead. Kamchatka is not shaped for comfort or convenience. It exists purely as nature intended: wild, unpredictable, and breathtaking. Further north, the Arctic reveals a different kind of power. The Russian Arctic is a realm of ice and endurance, where temperatures plunge and survival demands respect. Frozen seas stretch endlessly, broken only by drifting icebergs and the slow movement of polar wildlife. In winter, darkness reigns for months, while summer brings endless daylight that feels surreal and disorienting. This is a land where time loses meaning, and where human presence feels temporary against the vastness of ice and sky. The Lena pillars rise unexpectedly along the banks of the Lena River in Siberia, towering stone columns carved by millions of years of erosion. At sunrise and sunset, they glow with shades of gold, orange, and deep red, resembling a natural cathedral built by the earth itself. Standing before them, one feels small, humbled by the patience of geological time. These formations are not merely scenic, they are ancient storytellers, silently witnessing the rise and fall of civilizations far away. Deep in the Ural Mountains, Europe and Asia quietly meet. These mountains are older than memory, worn down by time yet rich in minerals, forests, and mystery. Villages here feel suspended between worlds, influenced by both continents yet belonging fully to neither. The forests are dense and dark, hiding rivers, caves, and legends passed down through generations. The Urals are not dramatic in scale like the Himalayas, but their quiet endurance gives them a unique strength. Lake Baikal, the deepest freshwater lake on Earth, feels less like a body of water and more like a living entity. Its depths hold nearly 20% of the world's unfrozen freshwater, so clear and pure that the lake appears almost unreal. In winter, Baikal freezes into a vast sheet of ice, cracking and groaning like something alive beneath the surface. Locals speak of the lake with reverence, believing it has a spirit of its own. To stand on its frozen surface or sail its summer waters is to feel connected to something ancient and sacred. These remote regions reveal a Russia defined not by borders or cities, but by scale and resilience. Life here adapts rather than conquers. People move with the seasons, respect the land, and understand that nature is not an obstacle. It is the ruler. Roads end, signals disappear, and modern distractions fade away, leaving only the essentials: sky, earth, water, and silence. In these distant corners, Russia shows its truest face. Not polished, not crowded, not hurried, but vast, powerful, and profoundly humbling. This is a country that cannot be fully known from its landmarks alone. Its real wonder lies in the spaces between them, where nature remains untamed and the world feels as it once was: raw, immense, and endlessly awe-inspiring. The Russian Arctic is a realm of extremes, a place where the land and sky merge into a frozen wilderness that tests every measure of human endurance. Here, life is defined by survival, resilience, and adaptation. The Arctic stretches across the northernmost reaches of Russia, from the remote islands of Franz Josef Land to the sprawling tundra of Siberia's northern coast, offering landscapes both stark and breathtakingly beautiful. In this region, the world seems to pause, leaving only wind, ice, and the quiet rhythm of nature. In winter, darkness dominates. The polar night descends for months, cloaking the land in shadow and leaving only the dim glow of distant stars and auroras to illuminate the frozen expanse. Temperatures plunge to unimaginable lows, and even the strongest winds feel like knives against the skin. For the few human communities that live here, life is a careful balance of preparation, resourcefulness, and unwavering discipline. Homes are built to endure the cold. Supplies are meticulously rationed, and every movement must respect the power of the environment. Yet even in this harshness, there is extraordinary beauty. The Arctic sky paints a canvas of colors that seem unreal. Northern lights shimmer across the heavens in green, purple, and gold, reflected on frozen seas and ice-laden landscapes. Snow-covered plains stretch uninterrupted to the horizon, and glaciers carve dramatic shapes across the land. Every sight inspires awe, reminding those who witness it of both the fragility and resilience of life in such extremes. Wildlife thrives against the odds. Polar bears roam vast stretches of ice, following the migrations of seals and fish. Arctic foxes move silently across the snow, their white coats blending perfectly with the environment. Walruses gather along the coasts, their massive forms a study in adaptation, while whales navigate icy waters, surfacing in brief glimpses of life amidst the frozen expanse. In the Arctic, every animal is a testament to survival in a world governed by nature's harshest laws. Indigenous peoples have called the Arctic home for millennia, developing cultures and lifestyles perfectly attuned to the land. They understand the rhythms of migration, the patterns of the ice, and the subtleties of the climate. Their stories, songs, and rituals are deeply tied to the environment, reflecting a spiritual connection with a land that is at once unforgiving and sustaining. Here, survival is not just physical, it is cultural, spiritual, and deeply intertwined with the natural world. Despite its isolation, the Arctic holds global significance. Its ice caps regulate climates, its ecosystems maintain biodiversity, and its remote lands preserve species and environments found nowhere else. Climate change, however, threatens this fragile balance. Melting glaciers, warming seas, and altering habitats that have remained stable for millennia. Witnessing the Arctic is therefore not just a journey of awe, but a reminder. Stable for millennia. Witnessing the Arctic is therefore not just a journey of awe, but a reminder of humanity's responsibility to protect the planet's most extreme and vulnerable regions. Traveling through the Arctic is not for the faint of heart. It demands patience, courage, and adaptability. Roads are few, storms are frequent, and the land offers no forgiveness. Yet those who venture here are rewarded with experiences unmatched anywhere else. The hush of snow underfoot, the crunch of ice breaking beneath a sled, the quiet majesty of a horizon that stretches endlessly. In these moments, the Arctic feels eternal, timeless, and profoundly humbling. The Russian Arctic teaches lessons impossible to learn elsewhere. It reveals the scale of the planet, the endurance of life, and the delicate balance between human presence and natural forces. It reminds us that beauty often coexists with danger, that survival is intertwined with respect, and that some of the world's greatest wonders exist far from the familiar and the comfortable. To experience Arctic Russia is to confront extremes of climate, isolation, and the human spirit. It is to witness a world where nature remains the ultimate authority, and where the land and sky evoke emotions that words can barely capture. In the Arctic, Russia reveals a face both harsh and magnificent, a reminder that the true majesty of this country often lies far from civilization, at the edge of the earth itself. The city of Vladivostok stands as Russia's gateway to the Pacific, a vibrant blend of natural beauty, maritime culture, and urban energy. Perched on the edge of the continent, where rivers meet the sea and mountains rise dramatically from the coastline, Vladivostok offers a final chapter in Russia's vast story, a city that reflects the country's history, ambition, and connection to the wider world. Here, the meeting of East and West is not a concept, but a tangible experience, woven into streets, ports, and horizons. The Golden Horn Bay dominates the city's landscape, its waters reflecting ships, bridges, and the changing sky. This deep natural harbor has long served as a strategic and commercial hub, linking Russia to neighboring nations across the Pacific. Ferries, fishing boats, and container ships crisscross the waters, moving goods and people while creating a constant rhythm of life. The bay is more than scenic. It is the pulse of the city, a reminder that Vladivostok exists in relationship to the oceans and lands beyond its shores. Bridges stretch across the city, connecting peninsulas and islands with elegant engineering that speaks of ambition and vision. The Russky Bridge, one of the longest cable-stayed bridges in the world, spans expanses that once seemed impossible to conquer. At night, its towers are illuminated, reflecting in the waters below, a symbol of progress and modernity. These structures are not merely practical, they are landmarks, illustrating how human ingenuity can harmonize with rugged landscapes. Vladivostok's streets are alive with contrasts. Soviet-era buildings share space with modern skyscrapers, cafes, and markets, creating a cityscape where history and contemporary life coexist. The aroma of freshly baked bread mixes with sea salt on the wind, while locals and travelers alike explore hills, embankments, and viewpoints that offer sweeping panoramas of the Pacific and surrounding islands. Life in the city is a balance of work, leisure, and reflection, shaped by both tradition and the possibilities of global connection. Culture thrives alongside commerce. The city is home to theaters, museums, and galleries that preserve the heritage of the region while embracing contemporary expression. Music, art, and cuisine reveal influences from across Russia and Asia, reflecting Vladivostok's unique position as a bridge between continents. Festivals, concerts, and public celebrations bring people together, highlighting the warmth and resilience of a population accustomed to the extremes of geography and climate. Nature remains ever present. Mountains rise abruptly behind the city, offering hiking trails, forests, and quiet spaces where the urban pace slows. Coastal cliffs meet the ocean, creating dramatic vistas that captivate photographers and explorers alike. Seals, seabirds, and marine life inhabit the surrounding waters, a reminder that even in a bustling city, wildlife continues its rhythms, largely unaffected by human presence. Vladivostok's history is layered and complex. Founded as a military outpost in the 19th century, it evolved into a vital port, a center of trade, and a cultural crossroads. The city has weathered wars, economic upheavals, and political change. Yet it endures, resilient and adaptable. This resilience is reflected in the people, who navigate both the challenges of daily life and the opportunities of a city that stands at the edge of continents. As night falls, lights sparkle across the hills and harbor, casting reflections on the calm waters. The city hums softly with life, a mix of movement, conversation, and the distant calls of seabirds returning to roost. From this vantage, Vladivostok embodies the essence of Russia's eastern frontier, bold, expansive, and alive with possibility. To explore Vladivostok is to witness the meeting of land, sea, and human ambition. It is a city where natural grandeur meets architectural achievement, where history merges with modernity, and where the edge of a continent becomes a gateway to the world. Beyond the bustling streets and scenic bays, Vladivostok offers hidden corners that reveal the city's deeper character. Small neighborhoods, often overlooked by visitors, pulse with life and history. Narrow alleys lead to vibrant markets, where locals sell fresh seafood handcrafted goods, and regional specialties. The aroma of grilled fish mingles with the scent of the sea, creating an atmosphere that feels both authentic and timeless. Here, life moves at a gentler pace, allowing travelers to observe daily routines that have remained largely unchanged for decades. The city's maritime heritage is omnipresent. Vladivostok was built to serve the Pacific, and its identity remains tied to the sea. Naval vessels dock alongside fishing boats, while shipyards echo with the sounds of construction and repair. Maritime museums preserve the legacy of exploration and naval strategy, chronicling how this remote outpost became central to Russia's connection with Asia and the Pacific Rim. The stories of sailors, merchants, and explorers resonate through these spaces, giving visitors a sense of continuity between past and present. Vladivostok's hills and viewpoints offer a rare opportunity to witness the full scale of this city and its surroundings. From high vantage points, the expanse of the Golden Horn Bay comes into view, dotted with islands, bridges, and ships. The mountains surrounding the city rise steeply, often cloaked in mist, creating a dramatic backdrop against the urban landscape. Trails wind through these hills, offering both adventure and quiet reflection. Hiking, or simply pausing on a lookout point, allows one to grasp the delicate balance between nature and urban development, a balance that defines the city's charm. Seasonal changes dramatically alter the city's character. In winter, snow blankets, rooftops, and streets, creating a serene, almost magical atmosphere. Ice covers portions of the bay, and the cold sharpens the senses, revealing the raw beauty of coastal cliffs and frozen waters. Summers bring warmth, long daylight hours, and an explosion of color. Parks and gardens flourish, outdoor cafes fill with locals and tourists, and the city's energy becomes infectious. These seasonal contrasts highlight the city's adaptability, reflecting the resilience of those who call Vladivostok home. Cultural life thrives, despite the city's geographic isolation. Theaters stage performances ranging from classical Russian ballet to modern plays that push creative boundaries. Art galleries showcase both local talent and international influences, while music festivals bring together artists from across Asia and Europe. Culinary experiences blend Russian traditions with flavors from neighboring countries, offering a taste of the city's cosmopolitan spirit. In Vladivostok, culture is not a luxury, but a reflection of the people's identity, vibrant, diverse, and deeply rooted in place. Education and research play a central role in the city's evolution. Universities, research centers, and marine institutes study the unique environment of the Russian Far East. Scientists monitor the Pacific, track marine life, and explore geological phenomena, contributing knowledge that reaches far beyond the region. Vladivostok is a hub of discovery, where curiosity meets the untamed natural world surrounding the city. Despite modern development, remnants of history remain everywhere. Soviet-era architecture contrasts with contemporary buildings, creating a visual narrative of the city's journey through time. Monuments and memorials honor those who shaped Vladivostok: explorers, soldiers, and visionaries, whose efforts transformed a remote outpost into a thriving urban center. Walking among these structures is a lesson in history, resilience, and human ambition. Vladivostok's people embody the city spirit. They are independent, resourceful, and welcoming, navigating the demands of a coastal city while preserving traditions and building new opportunities. Communities here are tight-knit, yet the city remains a place of openness, a junction where travelers, merchants, and scholars from distant lands intersect with local life. This blend of connection and individuality gives Vladivostok its unique character. To explore Vladivostok fully is to experience the meeting of extremes, land and sea, history and modernity, isolation and global connectivity. The city encapsulates the essence of Russia's eastern frontier, where the rawness of nature meets human ingenuity. Here, one can feel the pulse of a nation extending to the edge of the world, a place where every hill, harbor, and street tells a story of endurance, ambition, and the limitless potential of exploration. As one delves deeper into Vladivostok, the city's layers of identity reveal themselves in ways both subtle and striking. The waterfront is more than a harbor. It is a meeting place where past and present coexist. Early morning, fishermen cast their nets, while cargo ships glide silently across the bay, a rhythm that has persisted for generations. Seagulls wheel overhead, calling to one another, and the faint smell of salt and seaweed drifts on the wind. In these moments, the city's pulse slows, offering a perspective of life that is grounded, authentic, and enduring. Exploring the city's neighborhoods, travelers discover a tapestry of architectural styles. Wooden houses with carved details stand alongside Soviet-era apartment blocks, while modern glass structures punctuate the skyline. Each building tells a story of resilience, adaptation, and vision. Street markets hum with activity, where vendors sell fresh produce, seafood, and artisanal crafts. Children play in courtyards, neighbors converse over fences, and small cafes invite patrons to pause and observe life passing by. It is in these ordinary details that Vladivostok's extraordinary character is most visible. The surrounding landscape amplifies the city's drama. Hills rise steeply from the coast, offering vantage points where one can survey the expanse of the Pacific and the network of islands that define the region. Trails wind through these hills, leading to hidden viewpoints, quiet forests, and panoramic overlooks where the scale of the city and the natural world becomes apparent. Each ascent offers new angles, new perspectives, and a sense of awe at how human settlements integrate with nature rather than overpower. Vladivostok's cultural heartbeat is equally dynamic. The city hosts festivals, concerts, and exhibitions that celebrate the diversity of the Russian Far East. From traditional folk performances to contemporary art installations, the city thrives on creativity. Museums preserve the stories of explorers, traders, and sailors who connected Russia to the Pacific, while libraries and galleries cultivate knowledge and inspiration. Here, culture is not confined to history. It is lived, experienced, and evolving, reflecting a community that is both proud of its past and engaged with the future. Seasonal transformations shape the city's mood and activities. Winters cloak the streets in snow and ice, creating an ethereal atmosphere where lights shimmer against frozen waters. Summers bring warmth, long days, and a vibrant social life along the embankments and beaches. The transitions are dramatic yet harmonious, demonstrating the city's resilience and adaptability. Vladivostok's rhythm is dictated not only by human schedules, but also by the cycles of nature, tides, weather, and seasonal shifts that shape both life and landscape. Education and innovation form another layer of the city's identity. Universities and research institutes focus on marine biology, environmental studies, and regional development, connecting local expertise with global knowledge. Students, scientists, and innovators bring energy and curiosity to the city, ensuring that Vladivostok remains a hub of learning and exploration. Knowledge flows as freely as the tides, linking the city to the wider world even as it remains at the edge of Russia's vastness. Historically, Vladivostok has been a bridge between continents, cultures, and economies. From its early days as a military outpost to its modern role as a port city connecting Russia with Asia and beyond, it has always been a place of convergence. The city's strategic location has shaped trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange, creating a unique identity that blends Russian heritage with international influences. Today, this legacy continues, reflected in its cosmopolitan population, diverse cuisine, and vibrant arts scene. The people of Vladivostok embody the spirit of the city, They are hardy, resourceful, and deeply connected to both land and sea. Community life thrives in neighborhoods, markets, and along embankments, where stories are shared, traditions maintained, and friendships formed. Visitors quickly recognize that the city's warmth comes not only from its natural beauty or architecture, but from its residents, a population that has learned to thrive at the intersection of extremes. To stand on the shores of Vladivostok at sunset is to witness the culmination of Russia's vast journey. Mountains, water, bridges, and urban life converge in a scene both grand and intimate. Ships move steadily across the harbor, hills glow with fading light, and the city hums with the quiet energy of life continuing, resilient and enduring. In Vladivostok, one can feel the full sweep of Russia's geography and spirit, from the westernmost plains to the Pacific coast, from Arctic extremes to human ambition. A land defined by scale, endurance, and breathtaking diversity. Vladivostok is not just a destination. It is a living testament to Russia's reach, resilience, and boundless beauty. The final chapter of a journey that spans continents, climates, and centuries, leaving visitors with a profound understanding of the country's extraordinary scope and spirit. Beyond the urban core, Vladivostok's surrounding areas reveal a natural beauty that contrasts sharply with the city's bustling streets. Rugged coastlines stretch for miles, their cliffs plunging into the Pacific Ocean, sculpted over millennia by wind and waves. Hidden coves and secluded beaches invite quiet reflection, while offshore islands are home to seabird colonies and marine life that thrive in relative isolation. The combination of urban life and untamed wilderness is a striking reminder that Vladivostok exists at the intersection of civilization and the raw forces of nature. The Sea of Japan and the Amur Bay frame the city, their waters providing both livelihood and leisure. Fishermen continue age-old traditions, casting nets into the bays for salmon and crab, while locals and tourists enjoy boating, kayaking, and sailing along calm waters. Seasonal tides and currents influence every aspect of life, teaching respect for natural rhythms. Even in a city with modern infrastructure and global connections, the ocean remains a central force, shaping culture, economy, and daily experience. Mountains surrounding Vladivostok offer both challenge and inspiration. Trails climb steep slopes, leading to panoramic viewpoints that reveal the full sweep of the city, its harbors, and the surrounding islands. During early mornings and late afternoons, sunlight paints the peaks in gold and amber, creating scenes that feel almost unreal in their beauty. Winter blankets these hills in snow, turning them into playgrounds for skiing, snowboarding, and snowshoeing, while summer reveals lush greenery, wildflowers, and the songs of forest birds. Nature here is not a distant backdrop. It is an active participant in life, shaping recreation, culture, and perspective. Cultural heritage runs deep. Vladivostok's museums, monuments, and galleries preserve stories of explorers, traders, and pioneers who helped shape the city's role as Russia's eastern gateway. Military history, maritime exploration, and regional development are chronicled alongside art, photography, and contemporary installations. The city thrives on the dialogue between past and present, inviting visitors to understand how geography, ambition, and human ingenuity have intertwined over centuries. Festivals and public events showcase the city's vibrant spirit. Music, dance, and culinary celebrations bring together local communities and visitors alike, reinforcing a sense of connection and pride. Open-air performances along embankments, weekend markets, and seasonal fairs illustrate that life in Vladivostok is dynamic, yet deeply rooted in tradition. Even as the city modernizes, it preserves the warmth, creativity, and resilience that define its character. Education and research continue to shape Vladivostok's identity. Institutions dedicated to marine biology, environmental science, and regional development draw students and experts from across Russia and the world. Research on the Pacific ecosystem, climate adaptation, and urban sustainability positions Vladivostok as both a frontier city and a center of knowledge. Here, exploration is not only physical, but intellectual, linking curiosity with practical impact. The city's human element cannot be overstated. Residents of Vladivostok are known for their resilience, independence, and deep connection to both city and nature. Communities support one another through harsh winters, shifting economies, and the daily rhythms of life, creating a sense of cohesion and shared identity. Visitors often remark that the warmth of Vladivostok comes less from buildings or scenery than from its people, whose presence animates the city in a profoundly human way. Seasonal cycles reinforce a sense of harmony with nature. Long winter nights are quiet and reflective, while summers bring vitality, movement, and outdoor life. This rhythm shapes the culture, pace, and perception of time. In Vladivostok, the passing of seasons is celebrated rather than resisted, revealing a deep-rooted respect for forces beyond human control. To walk through Vladivostok is to experience contrasts, urban and wild, historical and modern, local and global. The city is a microcosm of Russia's eastern frontier, where every hill, harbor, and street tells a story of endurance, ambition, and harmony with nature. Its character emerges from both human endeavor and the raw beauty of the surrounding landscape, offering an experience that is immersive, reflective, and unforgettable. Standing at the edge of the city, overlooking the Pacific, one senses the full magnitude of Russia's eastern expanse. Vladivostok embodies the culmination of a journey across Siberia, Kamchatka, and the Arctic, a place where history, geography, and human spirit converge. It is a city of gateways, not just to the ocean, but to understanding the vastness, diversity, and resilience of Russia itself. Here, the journey ends, yet the story of discovery, awe, and reflection continues, leaving an indelible impression on all who traverse its streets and gaze upon its horizons. As the journey through Vladivostok reaches its final moments, the city's unique fusion of natural grandeur, urban life, and historical depth becomes unmistakably clear. From the heights of surrounding hills to the expanse of Golden Horn Bay, Vladivostok presents a perspective on Russia that few other places can offer, a vantage point where the immense scale of the nation, its environmental diversity, and its human spirit converge in a single frame. The harbor continues to define life here. Early morning mists rise over the water, softening the lines of ships, cranes, and distant islands. Seagulls call in harmony with the gentle lapping of waves against docks and piers. Fishermen and cargo workers move with practiced precision, their routines echoing a history of maritime activity that stretches back centuries. Even in an age of globalization and high-speed travel, these rhythms remain constant, a reminder that some elements of life resist change, grounded in both necessity and tradition. Exploring the city streets one last time reveals the interplay of history and modernity. Soviet-era architecture stands alongside sleek glass towers and renovated cultural centers. Markets bustle with life, offering locally sourced seafood, handcrafts, and produce grown in the surrounding region. Cafes and restaurants hum with conversation, reflecting a culture that embraces both hospitality and curiosity. In these daily interactions, Vladivostok's character shines brightest, pragmatic, resilient, and alive with a sense of continuity across generations. The surrounding natural environment frames every moment, from rugged cliffs to tranquil beaches, dense forests to panoramic hills. The landscape reinforces the city's role as a frontier, a meeting point between civilization and untamed wilderness. Wildlife persists at the city's edges. Seals sun themselves on rocky outcrops, seabirds wheel overhead, and the occasional fox or deer emerges from forests bordering the urban area. Nature is not distant here. It is immediate, reminding residents and visitors alike of the delicate balance between human activity and ecological preservation. Cultural life resonates deeply throughout Vladivostok. Theaters, galleries, and museums tell the story of the city and its region, highlighting exploration, trade, and artistic achievement. Festivals punctuate the calendar, celebrating music, dance, and food from both Russian traditions and influences brought by neighboring Asian nations. Education and research institutions cultivate innovation, particularly in marine biology, environmental studies, and regional development, ensuring that the city remains a hub of knowledge as well as a hub of commerce. Seasonal changes continue to shape experiences. Winters cloak streets and harbors in snow and ice, creating serene, almost otherworldly landscapes. Summers bring long days, warmth, and vibrant social life along embankments and parks. These cycles teach patience, adaptation, and appreciation for fleeting moments of beauty. Life in Vladivostok is intrinsically linked to the environment, and the city thrives because it honors this connection. Standing atop one of the many hills overlooking the Pacific, the scale of the city, bay, and surrounding islands is breathtaking. Ships traverse the waters like miniature models, while the urban sprawl stretches toward distant mountains. The vastness of the ocean mirrors the enormity of Russia itself, reminding travelers that they are at the edge of a continent and yet connected to a broader world. It is a humbling experience, one that underscores both human achievement and the enduring power of nature. The final impression of Vladivostok is one of convergence. Here, Russia's eastern frontier comes alive in a single place. The meeting of land, sea, and sky, the juxtaposition of history and modernity, the coexistence of human settlement and untouched wilderness. It is a city of gateways, not merely to Asia and the Pacific, but to understanding the diversity, resilience, and ambition of a country that spans continents and climates. As the sun sets over Golden Horn Bay, casting golden and crimson light across water, bridges, and hills, Vladivostok exudes a quiet majesty. The city hums softly with life, a blend of human endeavor, natural rhythm, and enduring history. For travelers who have journeyed across Russia, this final chapter crystallizes the essence of the nation: vast, diverse, resilient, and profoundly beautiful. Vladivostok is not just the end of a journey. It is a moment of reflection, a lens through which the scale, spirit, and wonder of Russia can be fully appreciated. Here, at the edge of the continent, one witnesses the culmination of a land of extremes, a testament to nature's grandeur, humanity's perseverance, and the enduring allure of exploration. In Vladivostok, Russia's story finds a living, breathing embodiment, leaving an indelible impression on all who stand upon its shores and gaze across its vast horizons. As our journey across Russia comes to a close, the memories of vast landscapes, ancient cities, and untamed wilderness linger like a vivid dream. From the icy Arctic to the tranquil shores of Lake Baikal, from the towering peaks of Siberia to the dynamic cityscape of Vladivostok, Russia's grandeur is beyond words. This is a land that challenges, humbles, and inspires, where every horizon invites exploration and every moment reminds us of the scale and resilience of both nature and humanity. The wonders of Russia are not just seen, they are felt, leaving an indelible mark on the soul. As we bid farewell to this extraordinary country, the adventure continues in memory, inspiring curiosity, awe, and the longing to explore the world's hidden corners. Russia is vast, Russia is wild, and Russia is unforgettable. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.